First of all, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate and let go of and not need to take anything or everything I say seriously at all? Everywhere where you take anything I say seriously and think that I'm the person that has all the answers and I'm the person that is going to tell you exactly what to do when you should listen to me, and anywhere where the stuff I say makes no sense to you, or you feel like doesn't resonate with you, or you're not getting it and you're trying to make yourself wrong for it, can you please let that go? Destroy it, uncreate it, return it to sender, let it go. Okay? So, money. Everywhere where you guys, anywhere where all of us, and anywhere where all of us have misidentified and misapplied what money is, and what abundance is, and what it takes to have money in your life, and how easy or hard it is to have money show up in your business, to have money show up in your life, to have money show up all around you as a byproduct of you. Anywhere where money is the thing that determines your worth or your lack of worth, or determines your success or your lack of success, would you please be willing to destroy that, uncreate that, return that to sender, and let that go? How many years, months, weeks, lifetimes have you made money something that was bigger than you, that was hard to understand, something that you couldn't receive, something that you couldn't wrap your head around, something that was going to be the thing that would boggle you and escape you and almost be the downfall to your success because you just couldn't figure this thing out? Would you please destroy that, uncreate it, let it go, and return it to sender? All of the lifetimes that you've struggled with money, and all of the lifetimes that you've had so much money you hadn't known what to do with it, and all of the conditioning and all of the thoughts and points of view and judgments around money and success and wealth that you picked up from your family, or you were born with, or you remember or have at a cellular level in your body, would you please let that go now? Ask that to release from all of the cellular memory in your body, all of the memory inside the cellular memory and in the DNA of your body. Would you please ask that to release now? Return to sender, go back to wherever it came from, and leave you alone. What have you decided that having money would mean for you in your life? Where have you decided that it would mean something bad would happen, something wrong would happen, that you would be bad, that you would be wrong, that it would be unfair if you made money, if you had money, if you had too much money? If you had more money than everyone else, if you had more money than your family or your friends or your peers, if you were more successful than your family or your friends or your peers, everywhere where that is the thing that keeps you down, keeps you small, and that you keep making yourself wrong for and wrong about, would you please destroy that, uncreate it, and let that go? And everywhere where you use that as your story, everywhere where you use that as the reason and justification as to why it's not okay for you to make more money and have more money and succeed, and everywhere where you're not willing to be an anomaly with money, everywhere where you're not willing to be abnormal with money, everywhere where you're not willing to be the person who doesn't have a problem with money and therefore does not fit into this reality or into society's points of view or into business, everywhere where you're not willing to be the person that just doesn't have a money issue, would you please destroy that, uncreate it, let it go, and return it to sender? Because how much awareness, and this is such a goodie, but what is your capacity with money? What is your hidden capacity? What is your truth? What is your reality with money? What is your awareness of money that is unique to you? That if only you knew it, and that meant only you could use it, and only you could have it, would you now be willing to use it and own it and have it, rather than wait for permission or wait and look for someone else to do it for you, to show you that it is okay and it is possible and you are allowed to now function in that way with money? What is your awareness of what money is and how it truly works and how it can truly work for you? How money works for you might be completely different to how it works for everyone else and anyone else that you know. So what that means is you cannot try to use society's rule books or how your mother functioned with money or how your father functioned with money or how your spouse or your partner functions with money as your go-to or as your default for how to operate with money. You also can't look at your partner or your best friend or your business partner or your competitor and say, well, that's how they function with money and they're really good with money and they have lots of money and they're successful, so I'm going to do it like them. Again, that's setting yourself up for failure because you're probably or possibly incongruent with that way of dealing with money. What is the way of dealing with money and having money and inviting money into your life that you are congruent with? How do you know how to make money and have money that is unique to you? Would you be willing to step into that capacity and potency and have it now and own it now? Cool. So I've had a few questions come up around, glass ceilings and breaking through a certain number or getting to a plateau. How many lies are you buying and how many lies are you functioning from in order to maintain and hold a glass ceiling or plateau in your financial reality in place? How many lies would you have to buy and be functioning from in order to make that a reality for you? How hard would you have to work in order to have a limitation and to have a stop on the growth of your money? Everywhere where you've allowed that to happen, everywhere where you have aligned and agreed with those lies that perpetuate the problems of your financial reality and the plateau of your financial reality and the glass ceilings in your financial reality, would you please now, through all time, spaces, and dimensions, destroy it, uncreate it, let it go, return it to sender, and let go of any promises, oaths, vows, commitments that you've made to anyone, whether spoken or unspoken, known or unknown, to kind of function from this limited place, to kind of function from that level and never go beyond. Would you willing to be aware of how much energy it must take and how much energy you need to use in order to actually maintain or have a glass ceiling or to have a limitation on your money flows in order to not let that grow beyond a certain point? It's like growing your hair. And if whenever your hair gets to a certain length, you know you need to go to the hairdresser and you get it cut. So anytime your hair grows beyond that certain length, you go get it cut. So you've decided that that is the place that, once your hair goes past that point, you need to do something about it. You need to get it cut, you need to get it styled, you need to make it go back to where it's meant to be. You need to hold it in its place. So that's kind of what you have to do in order to not let your financial reality grow. You have to, whenever it goes beyond somewhere, you need to kind of put it back in its box, or limit it, or trim it. If you have extra money come in, maybe you find a way to get rid of it. Maybe you find an outgoing expense that you suddenly need to take care of, or maybe it's when the too good to be true stuff happens and you create situations that prove to you that you cannot go beyond that certain point financially. How hard do you have to work to maintain that as your reality? Now, the reason I speak to that, and the reason I can speak to that with confidence, is it is nature to grow. It is nature and it is natural to have growth. So if you have any area of your life, or your body, or your health, or your finances that stay stagnant or decline, you're actually going against nature. So something I talk about when I facilitate and I work with people is it is in our nature to grow, because life is growth, and growth is change, and change is growth, and growth is life, and life is growth, and growth is change. So in nature, if a tree or a plant or an animal isn't adapting and growing and changing, it means it's often dying. So when a plant stops growing and stops, it doesn't produce any more fruit, and it doesn't grow any more branches and any more leaves, then it often means it's going to die. It's dying. That is actually the only time in nature when you don't have growth. So how is it that we, with bodies that have growth as a law of nature, as a natural state of being, how unnatural and abnormal behavior is it to have a point of in your life, to have a point of your body or health, or a point of being that doesn't grow or change? How much energy must you be using against you in order to maintain what appears to be consistency? I, in fact, will challenge that word and say it's not consistency. You are constantly having to fight to keep it down rather than let it grow. And so what would happen if you let go of the control that you perceive you need to be in to maintain your current financial reality? So everything that's brought up for you, everything that's let down for you, everywhere where you've gone into a beyond, everywhere that you're starstruck, everywhere that you're wondering what the hell you're going to do now, everywhere where you're wondering how to move forward from here, would you now please destroy that, uncreate that, and let that go? Because what I'm actually asking you or inviting you to be willing to do is go back to your natural state of being. If you are willing to go back to your natural state of beingness, You can't maintain your status quo of problems life. You are way too dynamic for that as a being. So I know that's been a little bit big today, and I know that there's been lots of cognitive information in there and a lot of energetic information in there, and a lot of energetic clearing, and a lot of reminding, you of who you are and what you already know. And if you would like to view it as this way, please take it as being given the permission that perhaps you were waiting for or needed for someone to say to you, you are allowed to be. You are allowed to be who you be, and live your life as you know how to live it. And you don't need to do it how anyone else or everyone else is telling you or showing you or explaining to you that you need to do it in order to make this reality work for you. Get back to you and being you and your knowing and your reality with money, and creating it in the way that's congruent with you and works for you and lights you up and doesn't kill you slowly from the inside out. And do those things that I talked about in terms of building your receiving, if that's what's been going on for you. Like I said, find those things in nature or in your life or in your relationship that light you up and remind you of who you are and get you back to your natural state of joy and receiving, and do those things, and then watch how the money situation changes. Okay.